going to be looking at mensuration. We started the series yesterday, so we are going to look at some problems under mensuration. Okay, I want to believe yesterday class was impactful. All right. Okay, so before we commence, please ensure you invite your mates, your friends, your classmates. Let them know the class has started. All right. So in today's class, we are going to be looking at some questions under mensuration, most especially questions that many students run away from. Okay, so now let us start with the first question here. Now let's look at it. Now, the question says a rectangular garden measures 30 meters by 20 meters. Now, a part of uniform width is built outside the garden if the total area is 936 meters square. Now find the width of the part. Now what is this question talking about? We have a garden which is rectangular in nature. So we have it this way. Alright. So and the dimension is given to be 30 meters. The length is 30 meters while the breadth is 20 meters. Okay, can we see that now? So now we are now told that a part is now built outside the rectangle. You can see now a part of uniform width is built outside the garden. So the width is uniform, so that means we have something of this form, built outside. Okay. Alright, so now let's call the width here, since it's uniform, let's call it, we can call it x. So from here to here is x, this one is going to be x. Alright, so from here to down to this place is x, and also here too we have x. Now, so that means we have new length and new breadth. Now let us look at the new length. Now the new length starts from here down to this place. Okay, so you know the initial length, the original length is 30. So from here to here is x, from here to here is also x. So that means we have 2x added to 30. So the length, the new length is going to be what? That's going to be 30. Now let's write it here. That's 30 plus 2x. Everything in meters. Okay, so now what of the new width? The new width is going to be 20 plus x plus x. All right, down here we have x, up here we have x. So that means that the new width now is going to be 20 plus 2x. Alright. Okay, so now when you look at the question here, now we are told now that the total area of the garden plus the part, this garden and this part, the total area is 936. You understand? So since it is a rectangle, so that means we can say area equals to length times breadth. Alright, so what is the area now? Area has been given to be 936 equals to, what is the length? The length, which is the new length, we have it as 30 plus 2x. Now times the width. The width is 20 plus 2x. Alright, so the next thing is to expand this right hand side. Now let's expand. We have 936 equals to, now to expand this, we have 30 times 20, that gives you 600. Okay, now 30 times 2x, that gives you 60x. Now 2x times 20, that gives you 40x. And the 2x times 2x, that gives you 4x squared. Alright? So we have 936 equals to 600 plus, now look at this and this are similar, so we have 100x plus 4x squared. Now let's move this to this side, or we subtract 936 from both sides. So if we do that, now our equation turns to 4x squared plus 100x plus 600 minus 936 equals to 0. So that means we have 4x squared plus 100x minus 336 equals to 0. Okay, now can you see that? So now this is the quadratic equation we need to solve. So before you start solving, you can see the numbers here are big, so you can simplify this equation. So you just divide through by 4. Okay, so now let's divide through by 4 and let's see what we're going to have here. Okay, divide through by 4, we have x squared. When you divide this by 4, you have x squared. Divide 100x by 4, you have plus 25x. Now, divide negative 336 by 4, we have negative 84 equals to 0. Alright? So now we can now go ahead and solve this quadratic equation. Okay, so now we need to identify the sum and product. The sum, the product. Now the sum here is the coefficient of x. That's plus 25. And the product, what? The product is negative 84. Alright, so I need two numbers such that when I multiply together, I have negative 84, and when added together, I have positive 25. What are the two numbers? Okay, so we have positive 28 and then negative 3. Alright, so when you multiply these two numbers together, you have negative 84. And when added together, you have 25. Okay, I hope you understand that. Okay, so if you are just joining this platform, don't forget to tap the like button, and if you are new on this channel, don't forget to click on the subscription button. Okay, so now let's look at it. So this now turns to x squared plus 28x. Okay, we are going to incorporate this one here. So we have 28x minus 3x, negative 3x. So minus 84 equals to 0. Alright, you get that? So now let's look at the first pair to find the GCD of these two pairs, or this pair rather. So what is the GCD of these two numbers? So that is x. So when you divide this by x, you have x. Divide 28x by x, you have positive 28. Alright, now let's look at the second pair. So the GCD is negative 3. Alright, so when you divide negative 3x by 3, you have x. Divide negative 84 by negative 3, you have positive 28 equals to 0. Alright, so now we can factor out x plus 28. So x plus 28, we are left with what? X minus 3 equals to 0. Now we have two numbers, two entities multiplying each other to have 0. So it's either x plus 28 equals to 0 or x minus 3 equals to 0. So we can say x now equals to negative 28 or x equals to 3. Alright? So now look at the question. The question wants us to find the width of the parts. The width of the parts, which you have represented with x. So now x cannot be negative because the width is a distance, so distance is not measured in negative. Okay, so that means that x is 3 and not negative 20. So we now say therefore the width of the part is 3 centimeter. Or is it okay? It's 3 meters. Sorry, so it's going to be 3 meters. Don't forget to put the unit. Unit is very, very important. So it's 3 meters and not negative 28. All right. So I want to believe you guys understand the explanation here. So all right. So if there's any comment you want to draw based on what we have done before we move to the next question, please kindly drop before we move to the next one. All right, okay, I think all right, Toyos, you're welcome. Divine, you're welcome to class. All right, okay, and others, you're all welcome to class. Okay, now let's move down to the next question. All right, now can we look at the next question here? Yes. Now the ratio of the length of the width or to the width, so this is supposed to be to the width of a rectangle is 5 to 3. So now if the perimeter is 64 centimeter, find the area. Okay. Now, how do we solve this problem? Now, in the question, we are told that the ratio of the length to the width of a rectangle is 5 to 3. So let's start by saying let the length of the rectangle be equals to L and the width be equals to what? W. Alright, so if this is the width and this is the length, now then we can have L, the ratio of the length to that of the width is equals to 5 to 3. You get that? Ratio of the length to the width is 5 to 3. So now the ratio is the same thing as division. This divided by this divided by this. So let's have it as L over W equals to 5 over 3. Here you can cross multiply. So you have 3L equals to 5W. So you can make L to be the solid of the formula. So we have L equals to 5 over 3W. Okay, let's call that equation 1. Alright, so look at what the question says here. Now, if the perimeter is 64 centimeter, you have to find the area. Now, you have been given the perimeter. Now, the perimeter formula for finding perimeter of a rectangle is 2 times L plus breadth, length plus breadth. Okay, so here we have perimeter to be 64, which is equals to 2. Now, what is the length? Now, the length is 5 over 3W. So let's plug in that. We have 5 over 3W plus what is the width or the breadth? Now, what do we have? That is going to be W, because we have said that width is what? W. Alright, here you can divide both sides by 2. So when you divide both sides by 2, so this one goes, so we have 32 equals to 5 over 3W plus W. Now, the next thing now is to multiply through by the LCM of the denominators, so that we clear this fraction. So you multiply this by 3, this by 3, and this by 3. Can we do that now? So when you multiply this by 3, you have 96. Okay, so now let's multiply this by 3. So if you multiply this by 3, so this 3 will cancel this 3 here. So we left with 5W. So you have 5W plus, so you multiply this by 3, you have 3W. Okay, so that means we have 96 equals to 8W. So here you can divide both sides by 8. So we have W equals to 96 over 8. So therefore, W is what? That's going to be 12 centimeter. That is, the width is 12 centimeter. The width is 12 centimeter. So don't forget, we want to find the area. So we need the width and the length. So let's get the length. We are going to be making use of this equation 1. So in equation 1, we have L equals to 5 over 3 times the width. The width is 12, so we have 12 here. Okay, so 3 goes here 1, 3 goes here is 4. So we have L equals to 5 times 4, and that is 20 centimeters. So the length is 20 centimeters, while the width is 12 centimeters. So now, let's get the area now. We have area is length times width. So the length is 20, while the width is 12. So what do we have? Well, we multiply that. So the area of the rectangle, now is going to be 240 centimeters square. So this is going to be the answer to that problem. Alright? So I believe you understand that. Okay? Alright, so now let's move down to the next question. Let's move down to the next question. So now, before I solve the next question, I want you to first try it and let's see what you can come up with before we solve the problem together. Okay, this is the question. That should be example 3. So example 3, we have a rectangle is such that its diagonal is 13 centimeter and its width is 5 centimeters. And the question is find Roman numeral 1, the length, 2, the perimeter, and the last one, the area. Okay, so I want us to try this. Let us try this before we solve it together. Now, a rectangle is such that its diagonal is 13 centimeter and its width is 5 centimeter. So we have to find the length, find the perimeter, and find the area. So now let me give you like 2 minutes to solve this problem, and let's see what we're going to have. All right. So don't forget, those of you that are just joining, don't forget to tap the like button, and if you are new on this channel, ensure that you click on the subscription button. Thank you for doing that. Okay, so let's wait for your answer. So if you have your answer, you can drop that in the comment section. So drop your answer in the comment section. Okay, thank you, Teslima. Thank you. You're welcome. Yes, once you are done, you can drop your answer in the comment section. Let's have your answer. What is the length? What is the perimeter? And what is the area of that rectangle? All right, you have like a minute to go. So if you have your length, you can drop it before you get your perimeter. So just drop that answer in the comment section if you have gotten your length. So Okay, I don't know, it seems we are finding the work difficult. Okay, let's see how you expected to solve the problem. So it's not something hard. Okay, now let us solve the problem. Now before we solve this problem, if you have not tapped the like button, please ensure you do that. Okay, all right, thank you for doing that. Okay, now we have a rectangle is such that its diagonal is 13 centimeter and its width is 5 centimeter. Now the question is, find the length, the perimeter, and the area of this triangle, rectangle, sorry. So now let us draw the rectangle solution. Now, so the rectangle looks like this. Okay, so we have a diagonal. The diagonal is 13 centimeter. In the question, its diagonal is 13 centimeter, and the width is what? 5 centimeter. So this place is 5 centimeter. Okay, and don't forget, one of the property of a rectangle is that all the angles are equal and they are 90 degrees. So all the four angles are equal. So now, okay, we need to get the length here. We are going to be making use of Pythagoras theorem. So now let's bring out this triangle. Look at this triangle, the right angle triangle. So we have something of this form. Okay, where this place is 5 centimeter and this is 13. Okay, so we need to get this L. So, and don't forget, Pythagoras theorem states that the squares of the two sides equals to the hypotenuse square. So we have L square plus 5 square equals to 13 square. Okay, so we have L square plus 25 equals to 169. Okay, so we have L square equals to 169 minus 25. So L square is what? 144. So we take square root of both sides. We have L equals to square root of 144. Therefore, L is 12 centimeter. So we have answered the first part of the question. So we have gotten the length of the rectangle. All right. So now the next thing is to find the perimeter of this rectangle. Okay. So the perimeter equals to 2 length plus breadth, or length plus width. Right. So we have the perimeter to be equals to 2. Now the length is 12. While the breadth is what? The breadth is 5. You can see that the breadth is 5. The length is what we have just got in here, 12. So that is let's continue here. So that is 2 times 17. Can you see that? 2 times 17. When you add 12 and 5 together, you have 17. So the perimeter is what? 34 centimeter. 34 centimeters. So that is going to be the perimeter of this rectangle. Now the last one, you have to find the area. Okay, so I want you to do that. Find the area and drop your answer in the comment section. So I expect everybody to be able to do that within very few seconds. So what's going to be the area of the rectangle? Can we quickly do that now? So what is the area of the rectangle? Do that and drop your answer in the comment section. Let's see. What do you have? Yes, what's going to be the area? All right, I think someone have dropped an answer. Okay, so probably let's wait for others. Yes, what is the area? Okay, I think I can see Toyosi's answer. Area is 60 centimeters square. All right. Okay, any other person? Apart from Toyosi and Divine, which have given an answer. Okay, any other person? The area. What is the area? So we have all the informations there. So the area is length times breadth. Area is length times breadth. Area of the rectangle is length times breadth. So we have area equals to length times breadth. We have area equals to, the length is what? We have gotten the length before. That's 12. And while the breadth, which is also the same thing as the width, is 5. So our answer now is going to be what? What's 12 times 5? That's 60 centimeter square. So this is the answer to the problem. Alright, I want to believe you all understand that. Okay, so that's how to get the area. So everybody should be able to do this. Okay, now let's move down to another question. This is example 4. In a triangle ABC, AB equals to 7 centimeter, BC is 9 centimeter, and angle ABC equals to 60 degrees. Roman numeral 1, find the area. Find the area of a triangle. And Roman numeral 2, find the length of side AC. The last one is calculate the perimeter. All right. So this is another interesting question. So now, but before we solve this problem, so I will quickly call attention to some formulas. Now, formula for finding area of a triangle. Now, I think we need to state that. Now, if we have a triangle of this form, where we have side A, side B, and side C. Okay, so and this is height H. So if we want to find the area, now the area of this is even when, okay, let's assume we are given an angle, let's say angle theta here. Okay, depends. So we have area is half base times height. So it simply means area is half BH. So this is the formula for finding area of a triangle. Half base times height. Or we have area to be equals to AB sine C. We have AC sine B. BC, this is sine A. Alright, so once angles are given, so this is the formula we are going to use to find area of this triangle. So you can see the sides, we have side A, side B, and then side C. Alright, so now to find the perimeter of the triangle, so what's the perimeter? Don't forget, perimeter is just the boundary, the length of the boundary that is describing the shape. So perimeter equals to A plus B plus C. Alright, so now I want you to put this down in your jotter. So you take note of all these formulas. Alright, I can also show you one semi-perimeter. Semi-perimeter is the same thing as A plus B plus C over 2. Alright, so that is that. So put all of these down. Okay, so now if we understand this, it's going to help us in solving this problem here. Alright, now let's look at the question now. So in a triangle ABC, let's describe the triangle. We have triangle ABC. Okay, so we have let's say this is B, we have A, we have C. Triangle ABC. Now AB is 7 centimeter. AB is 7 centimeter, and the BC is 9 centimeter. BC. Okay, BC is 9 centimeter. 9 centimeter. Okay, so probably let's adjust this triangle so that it will actually represent. So this is A and this is C. Okay, so BC is 9 centimeter. BC is 9 centimeter. You know, it's long, so you have to show that in your diagram. Okay, so and we are giving angle ABC, to be 60. So this is 60 degrees. Right, so now the question wants us to find the area of the triangle. So how do we get the area of the triangle? So now don't forget that we have been told we need to know this last side. So how do we get this last side? We can make use of cosine rule or sine rule, but this time around we are going to be making use of cosine rule so that we get this side here. Okay, so now let's see, because it's going to be needed. And let's get side AC. What the question require for it here. So like side AC, we have B squared equals to A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cos B. Now this is the formula we're going to be using to get this side B. Now let us plug in the values. Now our small b is what we are looking for. Now small c is 7. Small a is 9. So let's plug in these values here. So we have b squared equals to a, that's 9 squared plus 7 squared minus 2 times a, that's 9, times c, that's 7, cos 60 degrees. Alright, so now this is going to be b squared equals to, this is what? 81. 9 times 9 is 81, so plus 49 minus, what is 7 times 9? That is 63. Okay, 63 times 2, that is negative 126. So cos 60 is 1 over 2. Cos 60 is 1 over 2. I hope you understand that. So now let's join these together. So when you add this together, that's 130. Okay, so now this times this, so you just divide this. 2 goes there 1, 2 goes there is 63. That's 63, so minus 63. Okay, so now we have b squared. Now it's going to be what? That is going to be 70 watts. That's 77. So okay, so that is what we have. Then we can find the square root of both sides. Okay, all right. So now I think this is going to be 67. Yes, it's going to be 67. So when you remove that, so that's 67. So you find square root of both sides. So we have 60 square root of 67. So in centimeter. Now this is going to be the length. That's the second part of the question, AC. All right. But then we need to get this area now. We need to get this area. So don't forget the formula I gave you. I listed some formula for you the other time. So I said that area equals to, let's look at what we have here. We have A, C, sine B. Okay, this is the second one in that pattern. So this is the formula I'm going to use. So we just plug in the value. So we have, what is A? A in this case now is what? That's 9 times, and what is C? C is 7. So 7 sine 60. Can you see that? So that is going to give you what? When you multiply this together, you have what? 63. And sine 60, we can write it in special form. That's square root of 3 over 2. Okay, that's square root of 3 over 2. So when you multiply that, what do you have? Okay, so you have, so you can use this to divide this. So when you use this to divide this, what do you have? You have 31.5 square root of 3. in centimeters. So that's what you have. Okay, so this is going to be the area. So area, this is the area of this triangle. The triangle we have here, this is the area. So this is the first part of the question. So this is the answer to the first part. Now to the second part, we have this. That's the length of side AC. This is AC, it's the same thing as B. So AC is square root of 60, square root of 67. Okay, so now the last one, you have to calculate the perimeter. So if you want to calculate the perimeter of this triangle, so that means I need to add all the sides together. Okay, we add all the sides together. So let's do that. All the sides. So perimeter is A plus B plus C. So we have A is what? In this case we have 9 plus B is what? We have gotten B. That's square root of 67. And the plus, what is C? That's 7. So, and that gives us what? 16 plus square root of 67. Alright? So that is going to be in centimeter. So you can tidy it up if you like. So you find the square root of this, so you have the decimal number. So you add that to 16. So once you add it together, now can you please punch that and tell me what the answer is, what the answer would be, the perimeter. So when you add the square root of 67 with 16, so what do you have? So that's going to give you a decimal number. Okay, can you do that? And drop the answer in the comment section. Let me see. Let's see what we have for that. Okay, Teslima, okay, you're welcome. Yes, okay. All right, do you want me to go through it again? It seems some of us are saying we don't understand. All right. So you need to tell me the part that you want me to explain again. Is it the first part or the second part? Because we have 3 questions there. We have to find the site. We are also to find the area and to find the perimeter. Which one are we finding difficult to do? Yes. All right. Tuyose has given us an answer. Okay, that is 24.185. Okay, someone said the first part. Okay, Divine said the first part. Okay, I will go through that again so that every one of us will understand the question. Now let me compute this and let's be sure of what we have. The square root of 67 plus 16. All right, so that is 24.185 centimeter. That's approximately 24.19 centimeter. Okay, so that is the perimeter. All right, now let me go through the question again. So in the question, we are asked to find the area of the first part of the question. We have to find the area, right? But I started with the second part of the question. Okay, so but let's look at the first part in the question. We have to find the area of this triangle. All of these sides are given in the question. We are given side A, we are given side C. Okay, we have to find side B. But in the question, side B is the same thing as AC, because the question asks you to find AC. All right. But before we find AC, now let us get the area of this triangle. Now, this is the formula you are going to use. Area equals to AC sine B. I listed the formulas for you initially. I said these are the formulas for finding area of a triangle. We have A equals to, area equals to AB sine C. Next one, area is AC sine B. Okay, and the third one, area is BC sine C. Do you understand now? So, now how do we know the one to use here? Now, to know the one to use, I will look at what is given in the question. Now, in the question, I'm giving C and A. I'm giving C and A. So, this is C and A. And I'm also giving angle P. So, you have it. So, I'm going to make use of this. I can't use A, the first one, because I'm not giving side B. Okay, I'm not giving this side. Alright, suppose I'm giving now, of course, now I can go ahead and use that. So I'm not giving, so I can't use that. The same thing also applies to this third one. So I only use this one. And that is one reason why I have to say area is AC sine B. And A is giving side A. Okay, this is angle A, this corresponding side. The side that is facing the vertex A is what we call side A. Alright, so this is side A. So side A is 9 centimeter. And the side C, the side that is facing angle C is 7 centimeter. And that's what we have here. And the sine 60 is the same thing as square root of 3/2. So you just multiply this and this together, you have this. So if you don't know this, you can just punch your calculator. So when you punch your calculator, you have, you can press sine 60. So once you press sine 60, now you are going to have 0.8660. So now you multiply that with 63. So when you do that, this answer here is still the same thing. Is the same thing as 54.56 centimeter square. Okay. So, but I just left my own answer in short form. Okay. This is more accurate. Alright. So I left the answer in short form. So, but if you are making use of your calculator, you can just press your calculator, press sine 60. So sine 60 is 0.8 8 something. So you multiply that with 63. Alright, so and you have 54.56, which is the same thing as 31.5 times square root of 3. Okay, so that's how we arrived there. So I want to believe you understand that. Now let us look at the second part of the question. So you have to find side AC. Now to get side AC, you are going to be making use of cosine rule. Now this is the formula that we are going to be making use of. All you just need to do is to plug in those alphabet, the value of each of the alphabet into this. So now we are looking for B. So plug in value of A. Value of A is 9. So we have 9 squared. Value of C is what? 7. So you plug it in. So here we have 2 times 9 times 7 equals 60. Now, so when you square 9, you have 81. Square 7, you have 49. Negative times, so 2 times 9 times 7, that gives you 126. And the cos 60 is half, 0.5. So if you punch that in your calculator, you have 0.5. And that's the same thing as half. So now when you multiply half by 126. So what you have is 63. All right. So now you can subtract now. So when you subtract from here, you have 67, and you can take square root of both sides. So when you take square root of both sides, this is what you have. So this is going to give us side AC. So you can go further and find the answer, but I just left mine in decimal in short form. So you can leave yours in short form as well. Okay, but if you want to go further, so you now say square root of 67. Square root of 67 is going to give you 8.185 centimeter. Okay, so that is what you're going to have for that. Okay. All right, so that's what we have. So now this is how to get the second. Now the third one, you have to find the perimeter. Perimeter just means you add all the three sides together, because the sides are the one that describe the shape of the triangle. So you have 7 and 9, and AC, which you have gotten to be 8.185, and that's what we did here. 9 plus square root of 67 plus 7. So when you add everything together, this is what you have in short form. Okay, so and in decimal form you have it this way, which is the same thing as this. All right, so I need your response to the explanation. If you are okay, can we move on to the next question? All right. Okay, so all right, okay, so I think now we have gotten it. Okay, so we can then move down to the next thing. Now let's move down to the next question here. Okay, this is another question. Now the base of a triangle is 2x plus 1 in centimeter. Okay, so and the height is x minus 2 centimeter. Now if the area is 21 centimeter square, find x. Now, if the two sides are x plus 3 and x plus 5, find the perimeter. So how do we solve this problem? Now let's look at it. We are given the base and the height of the triangle. So all that I need to do now is to write the formula of area of a triangle that involves the base and the height. So that is what I need to do now. So I'll write this out. Area of triangle equals to half base times height. So this formula I'm going to use, okay, which is one of the formula I gave you the other time. So if you don't have it, make sure you copy it somewhere in your notes. So now in the question we have been given that the base is 2x plus 1. The height is x minus 2. All you just need to do, just plug in the values, place them where we have the height and the base. And the area too is 21. So let's plug everything in. Now let's do that. So we have 21 equals to 1 over 2 times the base is what? 2x plus 1 times the height is what? X minus 2. Can you see that? Okay, so the next thing now is to clear this fraction. So you multiply both sides by 2. Okay, so we have 42 equals to 2x plus 1 bracket x minus 2. Now you have 42 equals to, now let's expand this. We have 2x times what we have here. So we have x minus 2 plus 1 x minus 2. Okay, so we have 42 equals to, so when you open the bracket, you have 2x squared minus 4x plus x minus 2. Okay, so because 1 times x is x, 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. Okay, so now let's tidy up this. This and this are similar. And then I can also subtract 42 from both sides. So I have 0 equals to 2x squared minus 3x minus 2 minus 42. I hope you understand that. So these two turns to negative 3x. And then when you subtract 42 from both sides, so you have negative 42 at that side. So we now have 2x squared negative 3x and then negative 44 equals to 0. Alright, can you see that? We now have a quadratic equation. So how do we do this? You identify the sum and product. Now look at this. The sum is negative 3, while the product is what? 2 times 44, negative 44, that's negative what? 88. So what are the two numbers that must be added to get the sum and to multiply to get the product? So now let's look at it. We should begin to think of, let's say, negative 11 and positive 8. Alright, so when you look at this, if you multiply this and this together, you have the product, which is 2 times negative 44, that's negative 88, okay? And then when you add this together, you have negative 3. So that means this equation turns to 2x squared negative 11x plus 8, okay? So plus 8 negative 44 equals to 0. Alright, so now let's look at this first pair. What is the GCD? The GCD is x. So we factorize this, so we have 2x minus 11. And here, what's the GCD here? That is what? 4. That's 4 plus 4. So we have plus 4. So that is 2x minus 11 equals to 0. So the next thing is to factor out 2x minus 11. So we have 2x minus 11. We are left with x plus 4 equals to 0. So we have 2x minus 11 equals to 0, or x plus 4 equals to 0. So 2x equals to 11, or x equals to negative 4. So we have x equals to 11 over 2, okay, or x equals to negative 4. Now when you look at this question now, you have to find the value of x. So x in this case now cannot be negative, because if it is negative here, so it means that we want to find a distance that is negative. So because when you plug it in here, it means the height is going to give us negative 6, and that is not true. So x is not negative, so x is positive. So we say x equals to 11 over 2, and that's same thing as 5 and half. Okay, so 5 and half. So that's the value of x. So we can just conclude that x is 11 over 2. So the next question says that if the two sides are x plus 3 and x plus 5, find the perimeter. Okay, for that triangle. So if we have one of the sides, of course now you know the triangle looks like this. So a side is given to be x plus 5, another one x plus 3, and this third one is what? That has been given in the question earlier. So let's see, what do we have there? That is x minus 2. We have x, is it x minus 2, or that is 2x plus 1, 2x plus 1. Okay, and that's the base. The base is 2x plus 1. You can see that, which is the base. That's one of the sides. Okay, so now to find the perimeter of this triangle, we had this and this and this together. That is all the perimeter. So now let's add, because the question wants us to get the perimeter. So we now say perimeter of this triangle is x plus 3 plus x plus 5 plus 2x plus 1. Okay, so now let us add the x together. When you add this and this together, you have 4x. Now let's add the numbers together. 3 plus 5, 8, plus this 9. So we have 4. X is what? 11 over 2 plus 9. So 2 goes there, 1, 2 goes there, 2. That gives you 22, because 2 times 11 is 22 plus 9. And the answer is what? 31 centimeter. So that is the perimeter of the triangle. Alright, we've done a lot today. So I want to appreciate you, those of you that started the class and you are still in class till now. I appreciate you a lot. And please don't forget, if you are new on this channel, don't forget to subscribe. Don't also forget to share this video with your friends. Make sure you share it with your friends and inform your friends about this class. So tomorrow is another day. So we are going to continue from where we stopped. So we are going to look at other types of plane shapes. Okay, now we have looked at rectangle, we have looked at triangle, so we are going to look at another type of plane shape. So we are going to be looking at parallelogram, we look at trapezium, looked at circle and others. Okay, so let us make it a date against tomorrow. So thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.